The tender deadline is, we're calling it tomorrow on the live show. It's going to be today, most likely, when people listen to this as a podcast on Friday. There's some big names. Evan Longoria, reports are he is going to become a free agent. That's already kind of out there. The Giants are not going to keep him in the weeds. I think the name, though, gentlemen, that every single Cubs fan has their eyeballs on, because not only does he fill a position of need, he's also a former MVP. And that is the one, the only, and as Jeremiah said earlier in the show, thoughts on the Cody Bellinger rumors. Because, again, this is a guy, even though he looks like he's on cloud 54 every single game, he's a great defensive center fielder, and he has shown in the past that he can get it done at the plate. Again, he has an MVP award in the NL with that Dodgers team. There's a lot of speculation of whether the Dodgers keep him or not. So I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say. I know there's some other names out there that might make sense for the Cubs in the tender deadline, but I feel like the one that reigns supreme right now is Cody Bellinger.
I will agree that I would love to have Cody Bellinger on the Cubs in 2023. Like you said, he feels a need. A couple of weeks ago, I wrote an article about just a random article about left-handed bats that the Cubs should consider. And I had a longer list. Like, it wasn't just I put just 5, but I had a longer list of guys to choose from. And I had Bellinger on it, but and once again, I would love to have him on the team. I would be shocked if the Dodgers didn't give him some kind of deal next year. And I know, yeah, the last 2 years hasn't been the greatest, but dude, just looking at his stats right now from the last 2 years, yeah, he batted what? 210 this year, 165 the year before. But last year he played in 95 games, and I'm sure part of that was because of injury. I want to say, did he get demoted at all last year?
I think it was mostly all injuries.
I think you're
talking about 2021, right?
I think it
2021, yeah.
I think it was all injuries.
He played in 95 games, and I get it. Maybe those other 60 games that he played in, maybe he doesn't hit 200, but maybe he does. But then in 2020, you can't really count it, but maybe you can. He batted 239, which wasn't awful. But then just 2019, 2018, 2017, 47 home runs, 25 home runs, 39 home runs, 267, 260, 305, and the batting averages. And then OPS, 900 plus, 814, and then a 1 dot. I would love, love, love to see Bellinger in center field next year. Like you said, he plays an amazing center field. I think next year, though, I think one of the things that maybe has him on the potential of coming back to the Dodgers is maybe the Dodgers are looking at this, hey, next year there's the rule change on the shift. Does that play an effect with, his stats? Maybe, maybe not. But according to, I believe, what was it? Spot Track. I want to say that he's potentially owed like what, $16 million, close to that.
It might be higher than that.
I thought I saw 18 million, but maybe it's 16, something like that.
Luxury tax salary. I'm not very smart when it comes to all that. But anyways, 16, 18 million. Does he get that much next year? I don't. If I'm the Dodgers and I can afford it, I'm paying the Dodgers. But if not, and he becomes a free agent, yeah, I'm picking up the phone. I'm calling him just because, man, the potential's there. Like y'all said, MVP, Rookie of the Year, 2-time Gold Glove, or maybe I know he's won at least 1 Gold Glove, maybe 2. But just the potential at being what, just 20, what is he, 25, 26, something like
27.
that? 27. Like
he's still a young stallion. I'm the same.
He really is.
And he's
and who knows? Stallion. Maybe all he needs is just a change of scenery. Even though I know they say like LA is a pretty chill place to play. Just ask Joey Gallo, which he's a free agent. Just saying. But who knows? Maybe that's all he needs. And like I said, if he becomes non-tendered, you at least got to pick up the phone and say, "Hey, buddy, how much?" Yeah. Hey, because like you said, like we've said all year, left-handed thump, we're missing it. Cody Bellinger has potential. I know potential is a big word, potential. But man, that dude, Wrigley Field, give him a season at Wrigley, who knows, 30, 40 home runs, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he has the track record, and as Jeremiah brings up an interesting point here in the comments, he says they let Jock Peterson walk after only one bad year, and Cody has now had two. That's an organization that can afford to move on from guys, right? Even if they do have historical success. So, Joey, that's where I want to turn it over to you now and get your thoughts here. I'll give my opinions last. Thoughts? Cody Bellinger, Chicago, match made in heaven.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's match made in heaven necessarily, but I think it's a very good fit, especially when you need better defense in center field, and Cody Bellinger will provide that. I think for the Dodgers, the reason why they would non-tender him is because they are needing some extra money they have a ton of money, but they might look at it as we could use this money to go elsewhere while we're in our contention window, which they're pretty much always in their window, but they could use that maybe elsewhere and build the rest of the lineup around and kind of put them over the top. Whereas like Bellinger's kind of a question mark with the bat. And it seems like, he has Scott Boras as his agent. He still hit close to 20 home runs last year. He still stole almost 15 bases last year. Yeah, he has a lot with that swing that he feels like he's trying to do. It seems like he's really trying to swing it very hard. He's out of swing. He's out of sync. I don't know what the deal is exactly with his swing, but and I don't know if the Cubs can unlock that or not, but I think it's worth a shot because he can play first base too. So I think Juice might have mentioned that, if you call up Brendan Davis, let's say he does become ready at some point, he could always swing over to first base, say Mash Mervis. We all want him to work out, but say he struggles early on, right? He has to go back to AAA. Maybe Bellinger goes to first base, becomes that kind of platoon guy, if they add a right-handed first baseman like a Jose Abreu or a Trey Mancini or something like that. I know I'm kind of circling all these things at once, but I think if he's available, like Tyler said, you definitely make the call because he has that potential that you can possibly unlock. And we've seen it before where guys struggle. Like Scott Boras said that he needs to build up strength again. I think the swing mechanics really need some work and fine-tuning, but this is a guy that's hit over 40 home runs before, and he could be our Kyle Schwarber in a sense where we let him go for basically nothing. And I'm not saying that right or wrong. At this point, it looks very wrong. They shouldn't have given him up for nothing. I think we can all agree with that, but at the time, he wasn't necessarily killing it either. But maybe this is one where you strike gold with. And for one season, I think the Cubs are in a really good position where they could afford to pay a little bit more for a guy that's questionable if he's going to provide you that defense with the upside of the bat. Because I'm very much more interested in Bellinger with a potential bat than a Kevin Kiermaier who gives you basically nothing offensively. And yes, he's very good defensively, which there's routes that they can go. And we'll kind of break down the other positions later on, but that's why I kind of would rather go the Bellinger route, the upside offense. I don't think you can get a 0 from center field.
Yeah, and you guys bring up great points. Jeremiah says here there are no bad one-year deals. I absolutely agree with that. You take a stab at a guy, it doesn't work out, you let him walk. It is what it is. And this is why Joey and Jake are going to be on a microphone at some point this offseason again, because I think you and Jake are on the same wavelength here. He says, for what it's worth, there was a great breakdown on Bellinger's swing on the mechanics, and how they changed after the leg injury. He's convinced that's the fix. So, again, this Cubs team has shown, because of how their front office operates and works, that they can unlock guys, by working with them, obviously the pitch lab and even hitting. I think we've seen some guys, do some good things and improve in a lot of areas over the time. By the way, incredible comments so far this evening, because you guys aren't the only ones tripped out of Joey being up on the left-hand side. I apologize for destroying that for everybody. Jeremiah also asks Juice if he can have a pretzel. I saw that pretzel swipe too.
Damn right.
It gave me a good
address. I'm sending out pretzels.
sending all the pretzels.
I put it in an envelope, but I was like,
Juice has the church snacks. Like my mom, when she used to want to keep us quiet in church, she'd bring the little baggies with the snacks. Like the Juice has the little.
Remember the Scooby Doo fruit snacks? And you
get the lime,
dude, I love those. The baby blue Scooby one. Those are the shit, dude. Absolute shit.
Chex Mix. You got to have a little Chex Mix in there.
You got to have a little everything. But guys,
I'm real quick, though, on the pretzels. Just to evaluate what the pretzels are, too. 5-tool player, because they're also dots. Have you ever had dots pretzels?
Dots pretzels are excellent.
Those are like that's a deGrom of pretzel. Dots.
All right, I'm gonna try that. I'm checking.
Is that a segue?
Not quite yet. I want to give some 2 cents here, just real quick on the whole Bellinger situation, because I think it is interesting. I really do. It's very rare that you have the opportunity of a guy like Bellinger to become available, and I hate to reopen wounds and dump a gallon of salt into him, but it almost feels like the Kyle Schwarber situation a little bit, right? Where, maybe it isn't just working out where he is. The Dodgers are the one team in the league that can afford to let a guy go that has an MVP on his resume and replace him with a guy with probably just as equal talent, right? Like, that's just what they do. That's what the Dodgers do, right? Like, they let Jock Peterson walk, and everybody's like, the fuck are you doing? And then they were just fine. Even though Jock has gone on to become an incredible player, and now he just took the qualifying offer, so he's going to make 19.5 with the Giants this year. Good for him. It ends up that way. I think Bellinger would be a great add because, like you guys have said, he has the multiple position ability where maybe you DH him for a day. Maybe Brennan's ready and he comes up and plays center right away. You can give, Bellinger a day at first. You can give Bellinger a day in center if Davis isn't ready right away. You got to remember, Davis didn't play a whole lot last year, so we don't know when we're going to see Davis this year. So maybe Bellinger is that guy that comes in center field.
And maybe Davis moves positions too.
Yeah, who knows? Brennan Davis, I honestly think Brennan Davis long-term is a left fielder, and that's not a shot at him. I just think that's how it's going to work because I don't know if anybody saw the Cubs release their first of the On Deck series on YouTube today, but there's a little no-name guy that Juice got to see a lot of last year. His name's Pete Crow Armstrong. That's going to be probably ready in 2024. You're not dethroning him from center the way he plays center field. Just a little bit. He's kind of good. So I like the idea of bringing Bellinger in. You can play him at first. You can have him as a DH. You can play him in center. Wilson Contreras is most likely gone. He denied the Cubs qualifying offer. He's a free agent. So that's, that he was the DH often last season when Yan Gomes would catch or PJ Higgins would catch. So they're going to need a guy to fill that extra spot in the lineup, really. And I don't see them giving that to a guy like, a Christopher Morel or a Nico Horner. They want those guys in the field. Yeah. Bellinger could be a guy to a day off here and a day off there. Maybe it is just a rotation spot for guys like Ian Happ and potentially a Brennan Davis, or you want to give Seiya Suzuki's legs a day off. You know what I mean? Like, Bellinger is athletic enough where he can play all the spots in the outfield too. So really you have him to play 4 spots plus your DH, and you're probably bringing him in on, that's, so you're probably bringing him in on what, maybe $10-11 million. I think that's worth a shot at a guy that hit 47 homers.
Could be similar to the Jock Peterson deal we gave him just a couple years. It was like 1 year, $8 million or $8 or $9 million.
Yeah, I think Jock's was a little less money, but maybe you give Bellinger a little more because of the age and because MVP of the upside. But even then, it's worth a shot. The Cubs have the money to spend. Like,
shit, didn't they give Wade Miley, like you said? Didn't they give Wade Miley like something similar? It's $10 million, right?
Yeah,
he missed like the whole season. I mean, great in the locker room, fine, clubhouse guy, all that, but like, you could throw $10 million out there like for a year. I'm fine.
Yeah. So are washing machines too, Joey. They work though.
Hey, if there's a potential where it turns into an entire laundromat, sign me up.
Hey,
no, but spins on that whole thing. We're sorry to cut you off, Ron, but I know we're talking like future Cubs making the playoffs. But if they do stumble out of the gate, maybe they don't hit on these free agencies and they end up being bad again, and they do get Bellinger, that's a good trade opportunity too to ship him out to a contender because left-handed bats are their prime, pickings at the trade deadline. They bring back a lot of value in the system. So it's just an idea there too.